Let's go! Let's go! Boots in the clay, pit lane prayers, sun going down, floodlights glare, tape on the number, scars on the frame. We don't chase money, we chase the same flame. Fuel on our hands, grit in our teeth, talk in the trailer, war underneath. Open bumper, stories in steel. You don't fake cleaner, you don't fake rail. Speedway Alliance, we ride that edge. Dirt track racing the way it's supposed to be. Slide that tail, hang the throttle off the ledge. Wide open hearts, spinning in the heat. Speedway Alliance, kick up the dust. If you ain't sideways, you ain't with us. Dirt track racing the way it's supposed to be. This is our league, our creed, our speed.
Woo! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready for another amazing night of racing action here at the Speedway Alliance Racing League. As each and every one of these drivers is going to get ready to rock and roll, get ready to rumble here from the beautiful Bristol Motor Speedway. Is qualifying currently underway. Everyone's trying to lay down their quick times here, trying to set themselves up for a great starting spot out there on the racetrack. As we see the mellow yellow number 51 of Clay Christopherson out there on the speedway. He's trying to get a good stop in here. He's hoping that he can keep these drivers back there at bay and put himself into victory lane. As we see the 20 ride of Sebastian Rios Davis now sliding out onto the racetrack. He's ready to rock and roll. He is ready to rumble here this evening as well, as some great racing ahead of us. A good night of action here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Going to put on another amazing show for all the fans in the stands here this afternoon. If you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button on the broadcast for us right now. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today as we get ready to put our skirts in the dirt and get a little bit of dirty here this evening for what is going to be a great show and some great racing here with the Speedway Alliance Racing League. As each and every one of these drivers going to get ready to go back to battle, going to get ready to duke it out here as qualifying quickly coming to a close here, as Sebastian Rios Davis with the quick time jumps to the top of the speed chart. Quick lap right there for Sebastian as he jumps into that pole position. Nate Friesen in the F18 jumps up into that third spot. He'll be looking to try to gain a little bit more. Unfortunately, I think he's ran out of laps, so for Nate Friesen, he's locked in back in that third position. Here comes Carson the Catfish Cherry out there onto the racetrack as that beautiful number 4 ride. The beautiful bullet out there looking to try to put himself into a good position, a good starting spot out there on the racetrack. Holden Anderson looking to lay down another quick lap time as well. He's currently sitting at about the 12th position here, hoping for a little bit more speed. In lap number 2, he finds just enough to stay virtually right there in 11th. Actually leapfrogs back in front of Carson Cherry. Cherry back down across the line here. Didn't have a lot of speed there in his first lap, but his second lap goes to the top of the charts. So Carson Cherry works his way to the point here. Quick time for the number 4 ride, and Carson Cherry knocks Sebastian Rios Davis out of the number 1 position here and will steal that pole spot away from him, as Daniel George Sr. has not jumped out there for his qualifying run. Unfortunately, time has ran out, so he will not get a lap in. You'll have to start at the back of the pack as we'll get ready here for heat race number 1. Our first and only heat race here this evening, as we're going to have 13 drivers participate. 13 drivers will advance into our A-main feature event. And virtually for these drivers, it'll be a dual 15-lap afternoon here for them. So 15 laps to set the stage, and then virtually as this heat race comes to an end, it'll act kind of like a stage break as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and basically get restarted for the A main feature event for all these drivers. But obviously the pay window is at the end of the feature event here. If you don't have a great heat race, as long as you can run that 15 laps, figure out what you need, what changes you may have to make to your race car, and try to set yourself up here a little bit better for that A main feature event is going to be the key to success here this evening, as each and every one of these cats are going to get ready to rumble, going to get ready to roll out onto the speedway. It's Carson Cherry and the rest of the field loaded in, ready to roll out onto the speedway. It's Cherry with the quick time here in qualifying. We'll get ready to rumble from the pole position. Sebastian Rios Davis will start in position number 2 with Aaron Witham and Nate Friesen, our top 4 out there on the racetrack. Holden Anderson qualifies back in that 5th position with Clay Christopherson to his outside. Daniel George Jr. will start in position number 7. To his outside will be the number 12 ride of Robert Charette. Charette will start there in the 8th spot on the racetrack. The 34 of James Williams will start in 9th. To his outside will be the 147 of Stephen Bott, rounding up the top 10. And then back in 11th, it is the 7 ride of Hunter LaJoy. To his outside will be the 15 of Thomas Thies, and bringing up the rear of the field in that number 71. It is Daniel George Sr. who will start back there at the tail of the field. But it looks like for the Hawkeye Trucking number 15 ride, he's supposed to start to the outside of Hunter LaJoy, but it looks like he may elect to go to the rear of the pack here and start in behind Daniel George Sr. to start this race. We'll have to wait and see if he gets lined up correctly here, or if he will elect to start there a little farther back and a couple rows back there on the speedway. But out in front, Carson Cherry, Sebastian Rios Davis, and the rest of the field ready to rumble here from Bristol Motor Speedway, as the Speedway Alliance Racing League is back in action as the green flag flies here for our first heat race of the evening. But as quickly as the heat race starts, caution flag comes right on out here. So looks like we're going to get a yellow flag. I don't know if it was something with this restart or if something happened here, but I feel like Thomas Thies doesn't really run into an issue here. I didn't see anyone going around, and I didn't really see, maybe they're calling Carson Cherry maybe for a little bit of a jump here on this initial start. Maybe Cherry did not wait long enough for the pace truck to get down pit side and may have fired a little bit too soon there in that Ford machine, and the caution flag comes right on out. And unfortunately for all these drivers, that means we'll have to stack them up, rack them up, and try it all over again out there on the racetrack. So our first restart of the day is on the horizon. Everyone's still lined up, ready to go back after it. So hopefully a quick yellow, and we'll get right back into the battles here this evening. But for each and every one of these competitors, obviously trying to get the advantage, trying to get every little jump they can, and it seems like the official's going to call that one back. Going to look for a little bit better of a restart, and for all these drivers, they'll have to try to figure out what they can do to make things a little bit better, a little bit easier on them there for the next restart out on the racetrack, as each and every one of them going to get ready to go to battle, going to get ready to go back into the action here as, man, Carson Cherry, man, he's going to have his hands full. He's going to have a lot of work to do here trying to keep, Sebastian Rios Davis and the 216 ride back there at bay and some of these other fast competitors out there on the racetrack back behind him. But it is going to be a lot of fun. See who can come away with this one and set themselves up here for a great start here to this feature event, because this is only our heat race. We will see all these drivers right back in action here after the heat race in that feature event, but let's set the stage here first. For all these drivers, this is a golden opportunity to move forward or to potentially fall backwards out there on the racetrack, as here we go for our second attempt here. See this green flag fly. Pace truck will pull hard left down off of pit road here, back down onto pit road here, and here we go at a 4. Okay, a little bit better there. Obviously, everyone a little bit more grouped together and a little bit more, on the straightaway, then out of corner number 4, and for the 4 ride of Carson Cherry, much better start there, and for the 4 ride, he's able to still slide up, clear that 20 of Sebastian Rios Davis, as Rios Davis gonna continue to work to his back bumper, as we do see Nate Friesen jump up into position number 3, as they're 2-3 wide back here behind him. Look out! That is the 13 of Holden Anderson, way down to the inside there of the 7-11 of Daniel George Jr., and boy, oh boy, that got real close, and that could have been potentially another caution flag out there on the speedway. Luckily enough, they're able to hang on to it, as the pair of 71s going to battle back here for that 6th and 7th position. Daniel George Jr. and Robert Chartet duking it out here just outside our top 5, but out in front, it's Carson Cherry, who's got the top spot, but a great battle brewing here for position number 2. Here comes the F-18. It's Nate Friesen trying to work his way up and into that 2nd position, and Friesen looking locked in here to start this heat race. You'll slide up, you'll clear the 20. Oh, there's contact though, as the crossover out of Sebastian Rios Davis. He'll work down to the inside, a little bit more contact down to the corner entry, and now we'll make a little bit more contact down the back straightaway. Luckily enough though, they all keep themselves pointed in the right direction, as man, Carson Cherry is gone. He says you guys can solve that 2nd position by yourselves. He wants none of it. He wants to just watch that from his rear view mirror and look at it in the relative. He does not want to be a part of this battle, and here we go. The beating and banging, the battle, and it's not done yet, and it's brought Aaron Witham and the 51 of Clay Christopherson right into the fight, and now here we go. Witham, big run, works his way with ease around Rios Davis. The 20 falls back into position number 4, with them now up and into 3rd and looking to go after that 18 ride of Nate Friesen. As Friesen, halfway through this heat race, sitting in that 2nd position. Unfortunately, though, they find themselves now about 1.4 seconds back of our race leader, Carson Cherry, and now the battle for 3rd is heated back up. Rios Davis making another charge here, back down to the inside, trying to figure out a way to get back around the 216 as they start to duke it out. It's allowing Nate Friesen to pull away, and our race leader, Cherry, to pull even farther away. Is big contact. Here comes Clay Christopherson back down to the inside for Witham. Great battle brewing back here, man. These guys have been beating and banging, battling hard, and they're not done here this evening, man. We're going to see this all night long. I think these guys are going to put on an absolute epic show for us as Carson Cherry continues to lead the way. 11 laps down here. Only a few more laps left to go in heat race number 1 this evening. It's Cherry, though, out in front, trying to keep Nate Friesen and the rest of these guys back there at bay as they head down into corner number 3. Nice and easy at corner number 4. Another lap off the board here for Carson Cherry, and only 3 laps left to go here in our first and only heat race of the evening. And so far, man, Carson Cherry has looked to be that car to beat. Qualified in the pole position. He's led all the laps here in this heat race, and he's hoping to continue to just lead the way right on through our main feature event, trying to put himself up and into victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Clay Christopherson trying to hold on to that 3rd position as Rios Davis back in 4th. Robert Chartet's now worked his way into 5th as Aaron Witham slides back to 6th. Daniel George Jr. there in 7th. Here comes Holden Anderson back down to his inside as the white flag has been displayed. So one more time around here in this heat race. And for Carson Cherry, it says bullet on the side of his ride, and it is a reason it's there, because he's been a bullet, a rocket ship all night long, and he picks up our first heat race win of the evening. Nate Friesen back there in 2nd with Clay Christopherson, our top 3. Rios Davis and Chartet, our top 5, with Aaron Witham, Daniel George Jr., Holden Anderson, Stephen Bott, Thomas Thies, James Williams, Hunter LaJoy, and Daniel George Sr. rounding out the field there in our first heat race of the evening. And our only heat race of the evening is unfortunately no B mains, no more action here, not a huge field of drivers out there on the racetrack here this evening, so things will move quickly here this afternoon. So if you guys haven't already and you guys are enjoying the racing action, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button as well. become part of the Peacemaker family here today, as they'll get a quick warm-up session. They'll get some opportunities here to work on their race cars, make sure that they are absolutely perfect and ready to rock and roll here for our A-Main feature event, as our A-Main about to get underway here in just a little bit. And man, oh man, oh man, it is going to be a heck of a show. You saw how tight the battles were. You saw how much they were leaning on one another. It's only going to pick up. The intensity is only going to heat up here, and for all these drivers, man, it is going to be absolutely incredible to see, who's going to be able to come out on top. Will Cherry be able to just pull away once again and run away with it, or will we see these guys try to chew him up, spit him out early on, and keep him back there behind these guys throughout this feature event? So we're about to find out. But a quick warm-up session, a quick opportunity for drivers to work on their racecraft a little bit more, make sure their cars are doing good, make sure they're hooked up out there. It's Steve Cherry in the chat. How are you, Mr. Cherry? Says, awesome job, son. Cheering on Carson out there on the speedway. Carson, man, looked really, really good in that heat race, man. He's going to be a tough competitor throughout this feature event, as it seems like that 4 machine hooked up here this evening. As Daniel George, though, and a lot of these other drivers, James Williams, you do see Daniel George Sr. now, all jumping out onto the racetrack here, looking to try to get that extra little bit of practice in, trying to make sure they, figure something out, or trying to find different lanes out there on the speedway to set themselves up here for a nice run this afternoon. So we'll have to see if potentially it can work into their favor, because obviously there's a little extra practice. Maybe they can find a different lane. Maybe they find a little bit of different grip out there that they can use to their advantage, and use it here at the start of our feature event to take advantage of some of those drivers that have elected to just stay down pit side and not really get this practice in throughout this warm-up session. But for all these drivers, man, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be fun to see who will try to put themselves up and into victory lane. There's gonna be a lot of tight racing. A lot of great racing, though, out there on the speedways. Let's go for a couple laps around here with Daniel George Jr. and kind of see what these drivers are looking at out the front windshield here. As you see the 13 ride of Holden Anderson slipping and sliding around. You can see how slick this racetrack is, as it is absolutely slicked off, and a lot of that good moisture, a lot of that good dirt is down on that inside groove. So you see them virtually what would be the apron here at Bristol Motor Speedway, just trying to hug these cars as low as they can, down low, trying to stick that left front and left rear kind of into that good pay dirt down the bottom side of the racetrack. And that's where you find a lot of that good speed and momentum out there on the speedway. Now the high side does have a lot of grip up there. There is a bit of a burn. There is some grip up there, but with these factory stocks, man, it is such a long way around this racetrack, and you just cannot quite get the runs that you're looking for, and can't quite compete with how fast this inside lane is for how short it is around the racetrack. So if these were late models, if these were a little bit quicker race cars, that outside lane will be getting used and abused out there on the speedway. But right now, man, it's all about that inside lane. But we'll have to wait and see if this racetrack changes at all, if the crews go to work and try to get something else kind of worked out and figured out here to make it a little bit more racy here for this feature event, or if someone tries to tempt their fate with that outside lane and see if they can find something up there in that outside groove late in this race. But man, great run here and great racing for all these drivers this afternoon for what should be an incredible show. So here we go. You do see Daniel George Sr. He goes up to the outside. He finds out, though, that it's fairly thin up there. If you don't hit it correctly, you don't hit it right, you can find yourself into that outside fence and causing a lot of damage to your race car. So you're going to be very, very conscious about where you're running in that outside groove. But for obviously the 71, I mean, it's worth it. This is a good time and a good area to kind of, mess around with it. Try to see if you can find something in the middle lane, in the outside lane. Maybe there is a bit of a different groove that's starting to form out there on the racetrack that could be your advantage, late in this race or throughout the feature event. So we'll have to wait and see as like Christopherson finally jumps out there. He's going to get some laps. Now we do see Carson Cherry. Looks like he may be jumping out. Nope, looks like he is not. So same with the 71 ride. Got some laps in. Only one lap in there for for Robert Chartet. Daniel George has got a few in. We look at the other Daniel George Jr. He's got quite a few laps in here himself, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be very, very interesting. Going to be very fun to see who will get it done and put themselves into victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and another amazing night of racing action here with the Speedway Alliance Racing League. As that warm-up session has come to a close and we are going to get ready to go as our main feature event is about to get underway. And oh baby, okay, this is new and this is different. All right, so we're going to really mix things up here this evening, as we're going to invert the entire field here. Okay, this is crazy. We're inverting the entire field. So if you came last place in our heat race, you're going to start on the pole position here for this feature event. If you won the heat race, you're starting at the back of the pack. So if you're Carson Cherry, you got 15 laps to try to work your way through the field and back out in front. And this is what you guys came for, man. You guys came for a show. Well, here you go. As we'll stack them up, we'll rack them up, and we'll get ready to see who can try and find victory lane here this evening. Can Cherry go from the back to the front here? Can he work his way through traffic? Does Daniel George or Hunter LaJoy, our front row, have anything in their back pocket to try to find victory lane here themselves this afternoon? As we do see James Williams starting back in third. Thomas Thies will start to his outside in that Hawkeye Trucking number 15 ride. The 147 of Stephen Bott will start there in fifth, with Holden Anderson going to round out our top six out there on the Speedway. Daniel George Jr. will start there in seventh, with Aaron with him to his outside in the 216. Back in the ninth position, it will be the 71 of Robert Chartek to his outside. Will be the 20 of Sebastian Rios Davis there, rounding up the top 10 on the Speedway. Clay Christopherson will start back in 11th. Nate Friesen will start in 12th in our heat race winner. That number 4 ride of Carson Cherry will start at the back of the pack. So quickest in heat race, all at the back of the field here. The drivers that were a little bit slower struggling a little bit more, starting at the front as the paint truck makes a hard left-hand turn. We will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation, and here we go. Beat it, banging! Look out, there goes Daniel George Sr. Oh, baby, early on, already issues. You do see Daniel George Jr. also going upside down. Caution flag on the racetrack. So the Daniel Georges both running into issues early on here on that initial start, as our pole sitter just did not get a good launch, and you can see a lot of tire spin here out of the 71 as he's hard on the throttle, spinning the tires, and finally looks like he just loses the handle of it, washes back up the racetrack right into the door of the 15, and then as that car starts to go around, man, it just starts to climb, and man, oh man, nowhere to go for Williams, nowhere to go for Bott, as they're both going to get a good piece of him. And then you take a look at Daniel George Jr., who gets in there as well. He washes back up the track into the 51 of Clay Christopherson, and then his car is going to hook into the dirt, and it's going to go for a ride. He'll go upside down as well, as both Daniel George's end up on their lids here on our opening lap. Didn't even make it into corner number 2, and then they end up getting tied together again, and Senior is going to push Junior right back around, right back upside down, as the 371s all find each other out there on the racetrack. And unfortunately, a lot of early damage here for a bunch of drivers, and that is going to set the stage here for this A-main here this evening. So we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. We'll have to wait and see where they line everyone up here and where things are going to get ready to rumble, where drivers will be scored out there on the racetrack. As I'm not sure where they're even going to score these guys, man. I don't know how they're going to set this one up. If this is going to be a complete restart, everyone's going to get their spots back, or what the call is going to be here from the admin crew. But nonetheless, it's going to be a lot of fun, as it does look like Daniel George Sr. is still sitting out in front here. He's at the front of the field right now, and you got to imagine that he'd be moving backwards out there on the racetrack. But as of right now, they've got him still in the top position, so I'm not sure if he's going to get an EOL and go back to the rear of the field, or if we're just going to straight up restart this one and try all over again. Now, unfortunately for Daniel George Jr. in the 71, does show that he's a lap down out there on the racetrack, so I'm not sure if they're going to have to try to give him a wave around or something, try to get him back here onto the lead lap. But nonetheless, We'll get ready to rock and roll as, man, great defensive driving right there. Great defensive driving by a lot of these cats, including Mr. Anderson. And with them, James Williams, obviously nowhere for him to go. Stephen Bott had nowhere to go. They get some early damage into that as well. And it looks like we are stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. And for Daniel George Sr., they're going to keep him out front. He's going to restart from the pole position again. So now he gets a big launch, big restart down and out of corner number 4. And you can see these drivers still slipping and sliding around out there on the racetrack, and they're not done wrecking. Here we go. Nate Friesen's around. I do believe there's the caution flag. All right, so rough start here to this one, chat. Rough start to this one. 13 cars out there on the racetrack, and we have a hard time just getting back to the first corner here. But we'll see if they can get things rolling like they did in that heat race. But here in this feature event, man, things have been a lot more squirrely. And right here, you see the 34 ride kind of starts with him as Daniel Williams just gets a really bad jump here. I'm not sure what happens to James Williams, but he's starting in that third position. Our race leaders go, and he's just kind of sitting there, man. He's a sitting duck. Holden Anderson nowhere to go. Has to go down to his inside. And then 34, I don't know if he gets some contact there from the 71, or if he just finally gets it rolling here. And as he steps on it or upshifts, the car shoots to the outside. He's going to slide up almost into Sebastian Rios Davis, but as he tries to correct it, he rolls into the throttle. 51 ride gets into him, then he bounces off of Chartet. Him and Chartet wash back up the racetrack, and unfortunately for the 34, ends up right into the back end of that F18 and Nate Friesen. Then Friesen's just going to go for a ride. Clay Christopherson ends up with some pretty solid front end damage as he bounces not only into the 34's back bumper, but then back into the F18 ride as well. Again, some more early carnage out there on the racetrack, and with these issues and with this, you know, beating and banging and battling here, Carson Cherry start at the rear of the field, man. We are now seeing Cherry in the 6th position, so starting at the back of the pack, all he's done is just avoid the wrecks, avoid the carnage, and slowly but surely he's worked his way up about 7 spots out there on the racetrack and ready to go to battle here for a top 5 run and seeing if he can try to race his way to the point as Daniel George Sr. still sitting out in front. It is the 7 ride there to his outside of Hunter LaJoy. And then we see that 147 of Stephen Bott in third, the 216 of Aaron Witham as here we go. Back to green flag racing, and again, oh, look out, hold on to it. Anderson squirrely, Stephen Bott squirrely. Everyone's trying to keep their cars pointed in the right direction, and oh, look out, here we go. Down the back straightaway, the big one. Oh, brother, they're all piling into it. Aaron Witham, heavy damage. Thomas Thies, heavy damage. And I do believe for Sebastian Rios Davis, he goes airborne upside down, and another big one out there on the racetrack. Oh, brother. What in the world we doing here, fellas? What in the world is going on, chat? What is happening? All right, let's take a look here. Okay, there's contact between, oh my God, the 34 and the F18. And look at Friesen. Look at the ride he goes for. This isn't even part of the carnage down the back straightaway. This is back down through corner 1 and 2. For Friesen, I don't think he's made it through 1 and 2 during the green flag conditions here. And unfortunately, man, this is a wild ride for this number F18 ride, and it's going to take off like an F18 as here we go down into corner number 1. He's trying to hit his marks. He's in behind that number 71 right at Daniel George Jr. And then all of a sudden to his inside gets hooked. The car finally goes around. It digs into the dirt, and then here we go. Over and over and over and over again. That is not fun. And then as he lands back on all 4, he sees the mayhem that ensued down the back straightaway with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars all parked there as well. As let's take a look here at Aaron Witham. Witham is restarting in, what, the third position, fourth position. He jumps down to the inside. He's sitting in second here and then out of corner number 2. Oh, man, looks like he gets a piece of the 71 of Daniel George Sr. And then we're going to see Sebastian Rios-Davis get into him as they all start to stack up together on the bottom side of corner number 2. There you go. There's the contact between the 71 and the 216. Then the 20 ride gets in the air and with him. And then it's on like Donkey Kong. That hooks the 216 down into the inside fence. Big hit there for them. You watch Sebastian Rios-Davis wash back up the racetrack. Nowhere to go for Holden Anderson. Bought the 71 of Chatet. There's, oh man, Clay Christopherson nowhere to go. Daniel George Jr. nowhere to go. Sebastian Rios-Davis just keeps getting slammed here. Finally, this car goes airborne, ends up upside down as well, and as it continues to roll, it ends up parked up on top of the back straightaway pit wall. And more carnage, more mayhem, more tore-up race cars out there on the Speedway, man. We've been having a tough time just trying to get things under control, get things going out there on the Speedway. And unfortunately, a ton of tore-up race cars. Let's take another look at this one as here we go. There's the action down the backstretch, and all these cars just getting piled into, and so many of them getting absolutely tore up here down the backstretch, and that's not even including the F18 rider Nate Friesen, who had his own issues here down into corner number 1 himself. As here's the contact from the 34 again. There's the F18 going over and going for a wild ride here at Bristol Motor Speedway, man. That was a crazy, crazy flip for him. As here we go, back to green flag racing, but not for long. Here we go again. Oh my God, over the pit wall goes Daniel George Sr. What in the are we watching, chat? Is this a demolition derby? What is going on here? I think these guys are pranking us this afternoon. What in the fluff is happening? Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay, so the F18 that was just upside down not too long ago is somehow back up into the third position, but you see Daniel George Sr. trying to play a little defense right here and trying to keep that 4 ride of Carson Cherry back there behind him. Cherry tries to get down to his inside. George pulls a little bit of a block right there. They make contact. They get tight together. They both end up deep down low into, I do believe this is corner number 3, and then all of a sudden the F18 comes in with a big head of steam, runs into the back end of the 4 ride, who gets back into the rear end of the 71, and then finally Nate Friesen's just gonna turn that for a Carson Cherry. Cherry goes upside down, but you see the 71 trying to hang on to it. He gets turned, then he goes airborne. Stephen Bott, the 7 of, I do believe that is the 7 ride of Hunter LaJoy. Bott, the F18 hard in there, Williams in there, Robert Chartette's in there. Man, oh my gosh, and look at Cherry still flipping here on the pit wall. What in the world is going on here to Carson Cherry? Let's go back. We're just going to be watching wreck replays here all night long, chat. Brenda says, wow, what the heck? What the heck is right, Brenda? What in the heck is right? This is chaos for a 15-lap race. This is absolutely wild. Look at the 4. What in the world? Is this a flipping competition? Whoever flips the most wins the race. That's been it. That's decided. Whoever flips the most wins the race. That's how this one's kind of panning out here. As the 4 is going to get hit again by the 71 to flip him back over. Luckily enough for Carson Cherry, does land back onto all 4 tires. Able to keep on rolling and drive off somehow. But man, what a crazy one. Let's take a look here again at... let's go to Daniel George Sr. here. As Daniel George Sr. is going to get a great look at this one. Let's jump on board with him because he's out front. He's got the race lead. He's doing everything he can to keep Cherry and these guys back there behind him. As there's the initial contact, then a little bit more contact up the racetrack, and then loses the rear end, washes back down, clipped upside down and into pit lane. And wow, what a wow ride. And then rolls back onto all 4, luckily enough, able to keep on rolling and right back into it as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Some of these cars have been repaired, some of them not so much. Take a look at our race leader, the 7 ride of Hunter LaJoy. I don't know if someone's told LaJoy or not, but this car is absolutely shredded to pieces, but he's going to stick with it. Gets a good restart, good launch, and for the 7 ride, he's looking to keep these guys back there at bay, but that may be easier said than done, as here comes Clay Christopherson down to the inside of the 71 of Daniel George Jr. They make contact. They keep bouncing off of one another, as Clay Christopherson trying to work his way up and into position number 2, but out in front and able to lead what may be one of our only green flag laps here on the day is the 7 ride of Hunter LaJoy, but that's not going to last for long as he makes contact there with the 71, and now look out, there goes Holden Anderson. He's tied up with the 147. Stephen Bott, and the caution flag comes back out. So the yellow flag back out into the air. There's a few more drivers tied up in this one, as Bott and Anderson unfortunately going to get tangled together, and they're going to unfortunately go around right here as there's contact between our race leaders. Everyone piles in there again, and Holden Anderson, I think he's trying to get checked up, not wanting to run over the 7 ride right here, and as he does, 147's just going to drive it in there. Bont gets into that left rear quarter panel that hooks Anderson around. They get tied together, both down into the inside fence, and that's where the caution flag will come back out. But, man, we are so close to seeing another big one here at the front of the field, as Daniel George Jr. trying to work his way up and into position number 1. He beats and bangs with that 7 ride, and boy, oh boy, it was close to another big pile up there at the front of the field. Now, luckily enough, the caution flag comes out, and for both the drivers, I believe they're going to get their spots back. So for Hunter LaJoy and Daniel George Jr., they're going to restart here again, 1 and 2 on the Speedway, and we'll get them ready to go back to green flag racing here. As I don't even know what lap we're on, chat, because we haven't been getting a lot of laps in. It's been one lap every once in a while that we kind of get, and then it's right back to the caution. So let's see, really, I think we're only 7 or 8 laps into this race, as the caution laps do not count, so it'll revert here, give us a couple laps back. I believe there's 9 laps or 8 laps left to go here in this feature event. So for each and every one of these drivers, still a good distance left to go here. Still a lot of laps, and obviously the way things have been playing out, there's still a lot of time for a lot more carnage out there on the Speedway. It's Hunter LaJoy ready to rock and roll here, as Lena says, I flip, you flip, we flip. What a good show. Yeah, this is a great one. It's like, what is it? Who's that lady that does like the talk shows and stuff? Oprah Winfrey. It's like an Oprah show. You know, you get a flip, you get a flip, you get a flip. Check under your seat, you get a flip. Is here we go. Steve. Oh no. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it, Clay. I didn't mean it. I think I jinxed us there on that one. As here we go. Yellow flag back out as we were going back to green flag racing, and there's contact. Clay Christopherson wants this race lead. He wants the top spot, but all of a sudden he starts beating and banging here with the 7 ride, and unfortunately for Hunter LaJoy, him and the 51, as they're beating and banging and battling hard here, I think they're finally going to run out of room, and all of a sudden, it's not going to go the right way for the 51 as he bounces down the racetrack into Carson Cherry, then back up in front of the field, and then he is going to go for a ride, and I don't know if he technically went upside down, but for about half that back straightaway, that thing was not even touching the ground. So we'll say another big flip there for Clay, as the caution flag will come back out, and another restart on the horizon, as it is now the 71 of Daniel George. He's got the race lead. Daniel George out in front. He'll have the restart here. He'll look to try to keep these guys back there at bay, as Sebastian Rios Davis in position number 2. Carson Cherry's back up into 3rd as Aaron Witham. James Williams are top 5. Thomas Thies back in 6th with Daniel George Sr. there in 7th. Holden Anderson Radio are top 8. Robert Chartette's back in 9th with Hunter LaJoy there in 10th. Stephen Bott looks like he's taking his car off the racetrack and out of this race. Same with Clay Christopherson, and Nate Friesen, I think, is still down pit side here, and he is not going to rejoin this race. He's technically only ran -2 laps out there. I don't think he even got a technical lap in out there on the racetrack for Mr. Friesen, and that is a heartbreaker there for him as Marty says, come on, guys, let's race. Yes, let's race. Let's see some racing here. We had our fun. We had our enjoyment there. The carnage, the mayhem, the flips, and everything else. They're cool to see. They're fun to watch, but let's see a little bit of a shootout here to this checkered flag and see who can come out of it with the win out there on the speedway. As the lights are still on this official iRacing pace truck, I think he should probably hit the one to go button, or advance these a little quicker, kind of get things rolling a little bit smoother out there on the racetrack. But nonetheless, we will get ready to go back to green flag racing, so we'll stack them up, rack them up, get ready to go back to battle here as 71 ride. Daniel George, man, he's in a good position here. I mean, if he can just get a good solid restart and then just try to keep that car length or two from, the 20 ride, the 4 ride, keep these guys a little bit back behind him, man. All he's got to do is try to keep himself right there and put himself maybe into victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So for Daniel George Jr., we'll have to wait and see what he can do on this restart as Sebastian Rios Davis, Carson Cherry, we know they want to find victory lane, but so doesn't that 71. Big restart there for Daniel George. Big restart, big launch for him. That was exactly what he needed. He's got a car length or so between himself and now Carson Cherry as Cherry works his way up and into position number 2 with him up and into 3rd now as Rios Davis slides back into that 4th position. James Williams, Holden Anderson right there is, oh, look out, Sebastian Rios Davis going around, bouncing around, luckily not able to keep it pointing the right direction. Holden Anderson, though, getting a little bit blocked right there. They're going to be 3 wide back here as they're tight together down and out of corner number 2, and it looks like Anderson will jump back up into that 6th position, but out in front, clicking off lap number 9 here of this feature event, is that 71 JR as Daniel George Jr. leads the way, but man, Carson Cherry, Aaron with him right there, ready to pounce, ready to try to take this win away from him. But here we go. Oh, look out, contact, hang on to it. Cherry in the 71, almost going around. That opened up the door to quick hurry for Aaron with him. There's more contact here between our race leaders as Cherry around the outside will be able to steal the race lead away from Daniel George Jr. And across the line, there's only 4 more laps left to go. And from 0 to hero here in this one, from the back of the pack, here is Cherry back out in front, leading the way out there on the speedways. Aaron with them up into 2nd. Daniel George Jr. unfortunately falls back into that 3rd position as Williams and Holden Anderson round out our top 5. Thomas Lee, Sebastian Rios Davis, Hunter LaJoy, Daniel George Sr., Nate Friesen, our top 10 out there on the speedway. Robert Chartette, Stephen Bott, and Clay Christopherson round out the field here. But out in front, it's all Carson Cherry with only a couple more laps left to go. Can Cherry get it done and find victory here at Bristol Motor Speedway? Is down through 3 and out of corner number 4. He will see the white flag fly. So this next flag will end the race no matter what, whether it's the checker flag or the caution flag here. And for Cherry, he's just wanting to see clean green racetrack in front of him. Is for the final time, down through 3 and out of corner number 4, it's Carson Cherry who picks up the win here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Man, what a run, what a race, what a drive there for Carson Cherry, and what a show that these guys put on for us, man. That was wild. That was crazy, chat. That was absolute chaos out there on the racetrack for the first half of this feature event. And then the second half, man, they cleaned it up there. Good run to the end. Some great racing, a little bit of beating and banging and battling. But, man, these guys put on another wicked show for us as Cherry gets it done, picks up the win here in this one. And now we'll get to celebrate here on the front straightaway after a big dub here at Bristol Motor Speedway. With them there in second, and Daniel George Jr. going to round out our top 3 as we'll get them up into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews. Post-race interviews getting ready to be set loose here in this one as, man, this is going to be very, very fun. Alrighty, as we'll get Cherry up here into the booth this afternoon as a good run, good performance there for that number 4 ride. Let's see if we can get him up here into the booth for his post-race interview. Hey, Carson, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
Yes, sir, man. What's up?
Not much, Carson, man. What a run. What a drive for you here this afternoon. Is not only are you able to win the first race of the night, but the second race as well. But, man, this second race was a whole lot different. Obviously, we go pretty much clean and green in that first race of the evening, and you're able to just lead the way, hold down the top spot, and drive away from everybody to pick up the win. But here in this second one, the same main feature event, man, it was craziness. It was pandemonium out there as there was carnage all over the racetrack. You get tied up in a few of them. We see you upside down. I'm pretty sure we saw everybody upside down in the first 7 or 8 laps of this final event this afternoon. And somehow or another, though, you stick with it, you keep on battling, and somehow or another, you're able to catfish your way into victory lane.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what to say. I got lucky that my dad's really involved in the racing, and we spent from I don't know like 6 o'clock this morning to about noon just building the setup, and I mean, obviously this rolls, and I'm I don't even know what to say to be honest, man.
Yeah, obviously that Ford ride was hooked up here today. It was very, very fast, showed a lot of speed, not only in qualifying, but in that first heat race, and then throughout this, feature event, obviously being able to battle your way up and through the field from 13th to 1st to pick up the dub here in this one, man. What a performance, what a drive for you. Brother, take us back through because man, there was so much carnage out there, man. What was going through your mind as you were upside down, midway through this race? Did you think you were going to have a chance to get back up here and find victory lane?
You want to be honest? Honestly, no, dude. I had no idea uh, if I was gonna be able to just drive back up through the field because we got some really fast guys like Aaron. Both of the George boys. Uh, just I got I I got lucky, and uh, I got lucky that my dad gave me pretty much the best car that I possibly could have asked for. It had drive everywhere, and uh, James Williams pushed me back over, and I pulled into the pit, took my fast repair, and uh, kind of drove like I had a chip on my shoulder. But I mean, I was trying to give everybody room, lift for everybody, and sometimes some people weren't lifting for me. I mean, almost got drove through different like 2 different times, but I mean, it happens, and like I'm not upset. I mean, I came out on top, so just like I said, I'm just lucky to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, man, it was a heck of a show, an amazing night of racing action here again this afternoon with the Speedway Alliance Racing League. Carson, who would you like to thank, man, for another great run and great drive out there on the Speedway?
Honestly, I've already like said it twice, but my dad, first of all, like without him, this car would not have been anywhere as fast as it needed to be. Um, on me on my own, I was running 16.7s, and my dad took a step in, and I started running 16.4s almost consistently. So thank you, Dad. I know you're watching. Um, my mom too. They do everything for me, and I hope they know like how much I appreciate them. Um, and Team Purpose. I mean, they're a men's mental health race team, and during a time like this, that's something that we all need. Um, and Mitch for letting me be the second fat guy, and Gary too. I mean, without Gary, I wouldn't be able to have his dad on his car, and I feel like that's pushed me to be better. I mean, I'm carrying a legacy with me, and I'm glad I'm doing good.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing very, very good. Showing a lot of speed, a lot of great drives here over the last few weeks, and another big dump for you here tonight, Carson. Congratulations on the win here at Bristol Motor Speedway, man. As we can't wait to see you guys back out there and back in action again next Sunday night and see if you can park yourself right back up here into victory lane.
Yes, sir, man. I'm gonna do my best.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy the rest of your night and don't party too hard down there in victory lane.
Yes, sir, man. You have a good one.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our Feature winner here, Carson Cherry, as Cherry picks up the dub and pulls himself up and into victory lane here this evening, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher. It's Aaron Witham. Witham comes home in position number 2. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Aaron, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Aaron, man, great run, great drive for you out there on the racetrack, man, especially that second half when we finally started to get some green flag laps here. But, man, heck of a show, heck of a race. Obviously, some tight racing, some great racing there in the first feature of the night there. And then, obviously, in the second one, there was a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage. We see you get tied up in it. You're upside down a couple times out there on the racetrack, and somehow or another, you're able to stick with it and keep on battling and find yourself here in that second spot this afternoon, man. A solid run, solid drive for you, man. Take us back through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been a really rough season. I think this is the best finish I've had all season. Haven't really done too hot at all. I mean, it was definitely a grind for sure tonight. Just glad to finally put it on the podium for once.
Yeah, finally able to get all that hard work paid off here with a good, solid finish out there on the racetrack, and being able to park this 216 up here on the podium has got to feel pretty dang good after especially how crazy this second feature event was.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tried keeping my head down the best I could. Just, any openings I had, I was just trying to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it worked out there for you. Other times it did not, as like almost everybody else here on the racetrack going for a couple wild rides here this evening. But for yourself, Aaron, you perk it up here on the podium to round out the night, man. Who'd you like to thank for a great run and great drive out there on the Speedway?
Obviously, the wife and kids. Vanderbilt Race Cars, Poker Trucking, Boxo USA Tools, Valco Wheels, Hot Works Infrared Fitness Studio, and CNC Motorsports.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron, great run, great drive, man. We can't wait to see you back out on the racetrack next Sunday, and hopefully right back up here into the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better and into victory lane yourself.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Aaron Witham. Witham comes home with a great run, great drive there, and parks it in position number 2 as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, the number 71 of Daniel George Jr. Let's get Daniel up here into the booth. Hey, Daniel, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yep.
Daniel, man, great run, great drive for you here in this one. Like everybody else, though, had to go through some chaos, some carnage, and some catastrophes out there on the Speedway. But somehow or another, late in this race, you end up on the front row. You're back in that top spot, and you're trying to hold off Carson Cherry and Aaron Witham. Unfortunately, though, through a little bit of beating and banging, some close calls out there, they're able to get back around you, but you're able to hold on for a very solid top 3 performance here in our final feature event of the evening, man. Take us back through this one and, what's going through your mind?
Yeah, so about an hour before our races, me and Dad meet up and we practice the set that Dad built. And we thought we were fast, and then we get into practice. We've proven that we're a few tenths off. And going into the first race, I just wanted to stay 7th, and I stayed 7th. That was the goal. And then going into the second one, I got caught up in that wreck at the start and rolled it. Had to start from the back, and through all the chaos of them beating and banging and wrecking, I was able to somehow get back up front sometime after when Dad got in that wreck. And when I looked in my mirror and I saw Carson in the 216, I was like, uh-oh. So my entire goal there was just try to make it and survive to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was a couple close calls there as Carson was beating and banging, trying to get around you there. And luckily enough, both of you able to keep yourself pointing the right direction and not, running into too big of an issue where Witham was there to be able to steal that top spot away from Cherry and yourself. But finally, obviously, he does work his way into second, but you hold on here for a very solid third place run here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Daniel, who'd you like to thank for a great run and great drive out there on the Speedway?
Of course, I'd like to thank Dad because if Dad didn't take me to the races when I was a kid, I would never have the interest. And he's the one that pretty much builds everything. Like I may or may not adjust something, but Dad is literally the only reason I'm able to compete in this league competitively. I also like to thank the Twisted Speed guys for being the ones that kind of teach me how to drive compared to where I was before and now. I would always say thank you to like Jared, James, Daryl. They do a lot for me, and I also want to say thank you to my stepmom and my granny Peepaw for watching.
Absolutely. Well, Daniel, great run, great drive here this evening, man. Hopefully, many more trips for you up here into the broadcast booth throughout the rest of the season, as we'll see you back out there on the racetrack next Sunday and maybe right back up here a couple spots better and into Victory Lane next Sunday night.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Daniel George Jr. As Daniel comes home in position number 3 here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for the number 71 or the 711 here in the series, because we do have 3 71s already out there on the racetrack, so it's qualifying as the 711 ride, but 71 on the side of that race car. But great run, great drive there for George. Great run here by all these drivers. That first race, man, it was great. It was clean and green. We saw some great tight battles, a little bit of movement throughout the field, and they put on a great show for us in that one. This second race, though, man, it was crazy. It was chaos. There was so much beating and banging and battling and carnage, cars upside down. I don't know how many flips we saw there in this final race in this A main, but man, was it ever a good show out there on this speedway. And they put together, man, a crazy one, a wild one for us, and should be fun to see these guys back in action again next Sunday. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here in this one. We got to get ready for another broadcast. We'll be back up here in the booth in just a little bit, but thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all back here in just a little bit. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like button for us, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family, and we'll see y'all back here in probably about 9-10 minutes from now for our third broadcast of the day as we head back to Phoenix Raceway here in the NASCAR Cup Series with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. Well, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.